Welcome to Diversity TV, news and commentary. I'm Troy Shaw. Local headline news, story out of Milwaukee. An infant boy was found dead Thursday afternoon in a sports utility vehicle outside a West Side Daycare center, apparently left unattended by an employee at the center who picked him up Thursday morning, police and relatives said. The temperature was 81 degrees at 4 p.m. when a 911 caller reported that a baby, identified by family members as 4-month-old Sierras McHenry Jr., was found in a Dodge Durango outside the Cuddle Care Daycare, 3828 West Lisbon Avenue. Relatives, including one who was employed by the daycare, said Sierras was picked up from his home Thursday morning near North 24th Place and West Lloyd, but was never taken inside the center. Quote, "You're telling me my son was out here all these hours," the boy's mother, Stephanie Dot, said outside the center Thursday night. "You're telling me you forgot about my son?"
I asked the teacher, was he there? She said he didn't come today. Check or nothing. They let my nephew die. They could have saved him. They could have saved him by just checking earlier.
Lieutenant Victor Beecher of the Milwaukee Police Department's Criminal Investigation Bureau said the 911 caller reported that a child was not breathing and was unresponsive outside the center. Police and paramedics responded, but the infant was pronounced dead at the scene a short time later. It appeared that he had been left alone and unattended for a number of hours in the vehicle the police believed belonging to and or was being used by the employee of that daycare center. Police were interviewing daycare staff Thursday evening, and an autopsy was to be conducted to determine the exact cause of death, Lieutenant Beecher said. Hello, and welcome to my commentary on child daycare centers. You know, Central City daycares are required by law to follow certain rules and regulations. But unfortunately, over the course of the last few years, we have been seeing more serious injury and death as it pertains to how these child daycare centers take care of our children. When is it going to be a problem where the local, city, county governments get involved to make sure that these daycare centers are more adequately trained, not just the administration, but also the people who they employ, having adequate background checks and giving this information to the parents so they can make an informed choice? I went online and found a report by AssociateContent.com that basically said this. Terry Brown reported that in 1997, about 31,000 children under the age of 4 were seen in emergency rooms because of injuries sustained in a child care setting. How much more proof you need to know, or you need to have, to know that our children are at risk in some of these Central City daycare centers? The county governments, local governments, state governments, if you will, that license these daycare centers, as far as I'm concerned, are just as culpable to the deaths and the injuries of these children than the actual daycares. Why? Because they license these daycare centers. Many of the women that put these children in these inadequate centers find themselves with no other option because they have to have work because of a W-2 system. Don't get me wrong. I don't believe welfare works. I believe that we have to have working adults working. But at what cost and what risk to our children? African American and Hispanic children are most at risk as it concerns these daycare centers. We must do something to make sure that our children are safe. We make sure our children are safe by two ways here. Making sure these daycare centers are adequately trained and they're doing the right jobs, and making sure that the parents are informed on how well they're doing. I don't know of any report at all that is given to the parents to let them know that these daycare centers are safe. There's holes that are happening here that are costing the lives of African American and Hispanic children across the nation. But specifically here in southeastern Wisconsin, we can do something about it. Call your legislator. Find out more about these daycare centers. Find out what kind of service record they have, what kind of safety record they have. Not only request it, demand it. Our children are dying people, and we have to do something to make sure that they're kept safe. And that was Diversity TV, news and commentary. I'm Troy Shaw, and I'll see you very soon.